You do not lack the motivation to pursue your goals. I know we've all set goals before, whether it's fitness, business, personal, and we set these goals with great intentions and we feel so motivated initially. We're up early, we're at the gym, we're hitting all these milestones, and we might get a week in, 2 weeks in, and all motivation stops, and all of that effort, all of that drive, all of that action also stops as well. So you're probably thinking, like, I need to up my motivation so I keep this going. But the thing is, like, motivation is overrated, and the daily habits that you have are so underrated. Everyone wants transformation, they want rapid success, but we forget that the small actions that we're taking are transforming us daily already. If we're always waiting for the motivation to feel like doing something, to feel like waking up early, and we're relying on that emotional cue, we're never going to make progress. So there's 2 key things that you can do to get clarity and build habits within your life. So you need to put a plan into place to take the decision making out of it. Because if we wait until 6 a.m. in the morning and if we think, do I feel like getting out of bed now? The likelihood of that is pretty low. But if you have a plan in place, then it's more likely that you're going to do it because you're taking out that decision making process and the mental fatigue of that. James Clear says it the best, and he says you need to give your goals a time and a place to live within your world. So you're going to create a plan. Create a plan around your goal. If your goal is to run a marathon, if your goal is to start a business, you're going to put in a what, a when, and a how. And I think back to when I was planning to run a marathon with Mason in 2023. And that was probably one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing that I've ever done, because running through Melbourne winter is traumatic to say the least. And almost every single morning, I had no motivation to get up and run when it was freezing, when it was raining. And the goal didn't seem that important to me anymore. But because we had set up the what, the when, the how, we already had that in place. We didn't have to have that mental resistance of having to think those things through. They were already there. And even when I look back on that goal now, like when I first started that journey, the day that we decided that we were going to start training for the marathon, and we did a 3K run around the block, and I was only 500 meters in, and I thought I was going to have an asthma attack. And I remember being so frustrated that I'd agreed to sign up for this marathon because I knew that we were going to have to do this consistently and get really uncomfortable. So if I was relying on the motivation to keep doing that and putting myself in those positions where I really didn't want to be, then there's no chance that I would have achieved that. So now you've given your goals a place to live within your world. You're now going to do your second step. So this is a failure pre-mortem. And a failure pre-mortem is having a meeting. It might be with yourself, it might be with an accountability buddy or a friend. And you're going to identify and plan for any potential problems that you might come into along the way of achieving your goal. So step 1, think about that goal. So now that you have that goal, you're going to project yourself 6 months into the future and you failed. You haven't achieved your goal, and see that the story you tell yourself of why you didn't achieve that goal. What came up for you? What prevented you from taking action? What maybe threw you off course on your journey? Once you have those details, you're now so much better equipped to make a plan. And I know for me, when I think about my goals, what usually comes up for me is the fear of failure, procrastination, inaction. All of those things instantly come to my mind. So I'm sure that you're very aware of what's holding you back or what will hold you back along that journey. So now you can create a plan that's not just based on the ideal. It's not based on feeling like it, everything goes perfect. You've got a plan around what's going to pop up for you. So if you do snooze your alarm, when are you going to work out? If you've set yourself 3 days a week, you're going to wake up at 6 and you're going to go for a run, but maybe one of those days that you snooze your alarm. Cool. Then you know at 6 p.m., that's when you're going for a run. You've already planned for that. So if we're already planning around these things, we're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for consistency. So if we're aiming for consistency, then we need to be planning for failure. There's evidence around this, and it says that the number one reason that people lose willpower and they don't remain consistent with their goals and their habits is they haven't planned for failure. So using those 2 strategies, I know that you're going to make so much progress towards your goals because they have been a game changer for me. And if you do feel like you've listened to all the books, you've watched all the podcasts, maybe you've literally read Atomic Habits and you know what you need to be doing, but you just lack that action, that follow through, then you want to check out the version 2.0 Pro program. We've literally built out this program for entrepreneurs, creatives, and people that want to reach that next level, but feel like they keep holding themselves back through procrastination, limiting beliefs, and inaction. So if you feel like you are a high performer, but you keep falling into those habits, then check out the program. I'll drop a link in my bio and then we can continue the conversation. Thanks for watching.